Hey, what's up, visual listeners? This is the Replayer Podcast, and I'm your host this week, Dan, of course, with my co-host, Pagan.
Hello.
You okay, Pagan?
I'm good. I just think that's like the most embarrassing thing I've ever said on this podcast.
It is now
for
a
our
thing.
visual listeners. It's just
I'm not
now
letting
a thing.
it go.
It's just what's going to happen, isn't it? It's what's going to happen
Exactly.
for our podcast. Yeah.
Want it on a t-shirt.
Exactly.
But he was in distress, so he had an excuse. You you should feel embarrassed.
Yeah, I am. I'm embarrassed 90% of my day, Louis.
Hey,
just
you'll feel a lot better when it becomes a thing, and you're like, I started that.
True.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And I carried that torch because I like visual listeners. And with us, our visual listeners, a visual listener guest, we have Maria and Louis returning to the podcast.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello?
We're back.
Again.
For our visual listeners, Louis is holding up a mug.
All right. I am a ray of fucking sunshine.
That's right.
Wow. Monetized. Bad language.
Oh, they'll beep it out.
We've always hold on. Actually, let's
beep
no,
anything.
hold on. Let's just like touch on this for a second, right? Let's pick Jacksepticeye for a minute because he's Irish and has the mouth of a sailor. And
Are you trying to shout out
So
an
do I.
Irish streamer in every episode of the podcast now?
absolutely, fuck you.
Okay. All right.
Represent.
So
I'm just
anyway,
checking.
so Jacksepticeye started his channel swearing, as did we here on the Replayer Podcast. So anywhere that we post this podcast or on YouTube or on websites, it's always going to have swearing. Unlike PewDiePie, who never had swearing, and now when he does swear, he gets demonetized. Probably not now, like that he's over 100 million, but anytime he did swear, he got demonetized in those videos. He didn't need the fucking money, let's be real. But he got demonetized in those videos because it wasn't regular content, whereas Jacksepticeye made his name off of how he speaks. So anytime he swears in a video, does not get demonetized.
Yay.
That's
so if you
fucking
want
great.
to swear, kids,
Awesome. Fucking it.
Fucking A.
start off swearing.
Fucking A.
Don't make
I
content on
like-
the internet that's like, I'm going to censor myself because later on it will fuck you.
I have been
May
told
continue.
that sometimes I can curse a little bit too much. I'm like, fuck, shit, dude. I'm really fucking sorry about that.
I love
Oh, damn.
my hard Fs because how many times have I done it where we're recording and I'll say something about like I fucking love this hard F fucking like
Yeah.
that's
It's
like
in my
was,
literal gaming name. Fuck this level in particular. It's there. Like
It's amazing.
I'm already telling you,
Man.
don't come to me with like, oh, it's for the kids. No, it's not. I love
I
you.
was on a podcast as I had me as a guest, and that was a mistake. And it was one of those podcasts where they had to bleep it, and he was like, "I haven't got through all of the bleeps yet." I was like, "Yeah, sorry."
Your
about
whole
that."
video is just censored. It has a disclaimer at the beginning. I say
Beep, 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 beep.
I say fuck's sake quite a lot, like fuck's sake. And I was told recently that that's a very like South African thing that I've picked up. Like it's not really something that they say here in Ireland. It's not that like they'll just go, oh fuck's sake. But I think they do say it in England as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just something that I would just say as like, oh for fuck's sake.
But we also
But
say
just
it here in El
fuck's
Paso.
sake is Irish or South African. Huh?
We also say it here in El Paso, and I think in Houston as well. And I think everybody
As a
says
colloquialism,
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure everybody says it, but like as a colloquialism, like I say, the British usually say "for fuck's sake," whereas I'll be like, "Oh fuck's sake."
Yeah, just bypassing
Just
that
fuck's
for.
sake,
Just
yeah.
get to the fuck already.
Yeah,
My
And I
curses
do that.
change
I do that
depending
too.
on what I'm doing and
Yeah.
who's around.
honestly, I think language is so fucking fascinating. But
Well, we talk
yeah.
about language all the
Yeah,
time
we
on
talk
here.
about language
Now
all the
the new
time.
topic
It's
of this
super
episode is different curses across the globe.
How do you curse? Do you say "fuck's sake" or "for fuck's sake"? Put it in the comments below.
I mean, I could go into saying like yesterday I was talking to Maria and she kept saying slag and we got into a discussion about slag.
You slag.
You fucking slag.
It's the way you
Slag.
say it, though. It's the way you say it. You wouldn't just like be like, "Oh, what a fucking slag." You wouldn't really say that. Maybe Irish people might say
No.
that, but it's just you slag.
You slag.
She says it with an E. That's not an A.
It's with an
slag.
SCH.
It's slag.
with an S.
You slag.
Anyways,
we
tangent
had that-
Anyway.
aside,
I'm sorry, we
moving on,
digress.
Cutting everybody off.
No.
Our topic of discussion today is going to be the upcoming games of 2022 that we are excited about, and the PlayStation VR 2 that was just announced this past week. There's a lot to unpack and talk about with that. But first, I have a little bit of housekeeping that I want to get out there. Just wanted to let everyone know, if you didn't already, the Replayer podcast is now part of the CouchSoup.com network. CouchSoup.com is a platform focused on authentic and unfiltered pop culture. It's supported by a community of like-minded nerds like us. And we just wanted to ask you to do us a favor, support the show by joining the Couch Soup community for free at couchsoup.com, or you can choose one of the paid tiers that works for you. They have a couple of different membership options that they're going to roll out different perks over time as they develop the website. And you can always subscribe to our show on YouTube and iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify, or wherever you listen to our show. So that's it. Now that that's out of the way, on to the real discussion, or are we still talking about curses?
No, we're already talking about real discussions. Let's get into it. Let's fucking dive right in, man.
The PlayStation fucking VR.
Fucking VR.
Fucking PlayStation VR, man.
Fuck yeah! Sorry.
Anywho, so last week Sony announced there's the new PlayStation VR is definitely in development. It had been hinted at before. I know they showed off the controllers a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But to get us started on the conversation, we're going to talk generally about VR. I'm going to go around and ask you guys, what are your thoughts on VR? Do you own one? What do you think of them? And I'm going to start with Maria.
I do own VR. I have the PSVR.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by it. I think it's, I was from the old day of gaming when you had the Virtual Boy and the really shitty VR experiences that weren't VR. So I'm fascinated by it. I love the whole concept of it. I'm always trying on the little helmets and things. It does make me sick though. That's the only downfall of it. I do love giving it a try. But I find certain games don't. Certain games do. But no, I love the concept of it. So I love to see where the new one is going to come from. Yeah.
Louis, I know, has a lot to say on VR, so everybody hold on to your butts. Louis, let us hear it.
I never played VR.
Lie. Don't you lie. Fucking liar.
I have no opinion.
All three of us straight away be like, you fucking lie.
Yeah.
Like
I'm glad I could elicit such a reaction. It's an emotional reaction.
I kind of wish you had some sort of shelf in the background with your Oculus set up on there.
You know, it's on the ground. Right?
Oh, dang.
It would
have been funnier.
Right next to the
I've never heard of it. It's right there.
That's what this is.
I was going to say, I know you got your cables.
Yeah, the cables are for so it can be constantly charging because it dies in half an hour, and that way I have it up. I like the whole pulley system, so that I've
never noticed that.
You never noticed that? Ooh,
you
very perceptive of you, sis.
So which VR is that you're
hold
using?
On now. It's like your fucking cable's white against a white fucking wall, sir. I don't have eagle-eyed vision.
But everybody else noticed. I'm just saying. You don't notice me anymore. It could have been something
on your camera.
I also have a battery charger, so I can use it for putting it in my pocket.
Is this potentially so, Louis? You're set up then like I only play VR really for like less than an hour intervals at a time because again like I get headaches or whatever, so I'll just like manage myself. Like that's not a problem with VR. But I'm wondering then, are you spending a considerable amount of time in VR that you would need to hook it up?
Yes, I can VR for. I think my longest session was about 5 hours.
Holy shit.
Easy. And it's not just doing the VR, because I go through multiple games. I want to do everything all at once. I talked about this last time. My personal favorite is Synth Riders, which is like in my opinion, a better version of Beat Saber.
Okay.
Better music, better kind of style, cooler graphics. I really like that. So I can do that game. I haven't done it in a while, but there's an option where you can just do all your favorite songs because you could favorite them, and it was a workout. Literally, I did it for like an hour and a half straight, every single song, and I'll do that. I have Half-Life Alyx, I have Boneworks, I have like a whole bunch of stuff on my PC, which isn't the best PC, but it works well enough for it. So I'm able to get in there and I'm able to do all those things, and if I really want to immerse myself, which I haven't done anymore because now I have a gaming monitor. But what I used to do was play the games, especially my horror games, on the Oculus. So I can, I actually my Bluetooth, my controller onto the headset. And I was playing my games off of the virtual desktop. So I was playing horror games in a black room, essentially on like a 150-foot screen TV. So
wow.
yeah, and it can go up to 4K. Like I know how to use side quests really well. I can, make the graphics are actually pretty astounding. It's just a matter of actually getting in there and utilizing all of that stuff. There's a lot of ways to go into the system and make it even stronger, make it faster, make it look better. The Oculus doesn't utilize all of that. It since its last huge update has made it more susceptible to using those kinds of stuff. So I love it. I became an enthusiast as soon as I put that damn thing on. And so now I'm always researching on it because eventually I do want to get something better. I do want to get into something bigger. So when it came to the PSVR 2, I got really excited seeing that there's a whole bunch of different kinds of features that are coming onto it. It sounds like it could be one of the bigger contenders. I mean, it's going to be much stronger than the HTC. It's going to be, of course, way, way beyond the Valve Index, which Valve kind of just gave up on for a few years. And even Oculus is kind of like, okay, so we're pushing our boundaries as well. So I'm really looking forward to something like that. If I can ever get my hands on a PS5, I would love to get one of those too. Sure. So, but now we're looking again at another system that's worth $1,000 to get the $500 PS5, and more than likely anywhere between $500 to $700 for this.
Well, let me cut you off, Louis, because you're getting ahead of us. We're still talking on the general concept of VR. We haven't gotten to. Let's break down the PSVR 2 yet. So let me cut you off. Save some of that. You've been talking for a while.
You have to stop me.
I know you have a 10-page speech sitting in front of you.
I don't actually. This is the top of my head.
I know, but we'll put some of that to the later. Let's bring it over to Pagan and talk about her experience with VR.
Yeah, I love VR. I love VR. I have PSVR. We've had PSVR for a number of years, and then I recently just got the Oculus Quest 2 for Christmas, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Absolutely love VR. There's obviously different things about each console that I like and I don't like, but I think it's a really great concept. It came out when it first came out. I have to admit that I thought VR was like a gimmick. I was like, this is never gonna last. It's like 3D televisions. Nobody's gonna fucking watch that anymore. Like, it's going to be a thing that will just phase out. We have a 3D television, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
That makes
sense.
sense.
3D television. Because we had the glasses, but the glasses, like, they actually run on batteries and stuff, and they have to get replaced, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. So, anyway, I thought, like, it was just this big gimmick. It's not going to come back. VR is just never going to take off. And then, I think it was like a year later, I managed to get a PSVR. I brought it from America to Ireland because there wasn't any in Ireland. They sold out completely. Brought it over, and then I tried it, and I fucking loved it. Absolutely loved it. And now I absolutely love VR. And I've always wanted the Oculus Quest 2 because of the cable free of freeness because of the freedom that I have without cable. So I'm very happy to say that I've now very lucky to have that. Generally quite a positive experience. I also do want to touch on the fact that, Marie, I know you said that you get sick. I do also get the same with VR. If I spend longer than an hour, maybe even like an hour and a half, I might get a headache.
It depends on the game.
Definitely depends on the game. I can't do anything that's not grounded.
And I've heard with this, some people have said to me, because I've mentioned this before about VR, I really enjoy it. I love the experience. I love the kind of the whole like being in the universe, but it does make me sick. But someone said to me that games that were made for VR make you sick less than games that have been turned into VR.
Yeah.
Because I've played games like there was the Moss, the little mouse one.
Yeah.
Like, love that. That's really cute. And I played, some of the other games that were made for like the VR. I played Doom 3 when it came out, and I couldn't even get past the first intro. It made me really sick. But some other games don't. So I think it does come down to what the game is. Like, I played that Eve Valkyrie, where you're flying upside down, and it made me queasy, but it wasn't like so yeah.
I actually wouldn't be able to play anything like that. Like, even when the Iron Man like for VR came out, I was like, I don't even think I can. I'm not even going to attempt that, because anything that's not grounded, like if you are totally free of gravity in VR, it will make my stomach turn. And I'm not usually like that. I'm a roller coaster person. I like flying. Like I'm so into that. It's just whatever doesn't sit right with my brain, it just makes me very queasy. So I'd have to take it off. So I do believe that it does depend on the game. I do like every game that I've played so far on VR that has been made for VR, and anything that has, like I say, like a grounding capacity. So like Skyrim VR, whatever, or Rush of Blood, you're sitting down. Love that. Love all of them.
So for me, I personally have never actually used a VR headset. I've been very interested in VR since probably 2016. I was looking into them, but it's always been like really expensive. And then of course we got like PSVR, then Oculus after that, which are obviously much cheaper options than like the Valve Index, or what's the other one I'm thinking of? Is another really expensive one. Anyways, I never quite committed to one. I thought about getting one for the PlayStation VR for like Iron Man, and some of now that PlayStation's been giving away other VR games for PlayStation Plus. But it got to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to invest in that technology now, since it's been a few years, and I know there's better stuff out there, and I know there's better VR experiences on computer, on PC, over what's on PlayStation currently. So it's like I have Iron Man VR, but I can't play it.
Oh, that sucks.
I have whatever other free, like I got a free code for Iron Man VR. I'm like, sweet. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to play this.
Right.
So that getting into the PSVR 2 conversation, that's something I'm hoping for, because that would be nice to be able to play. But the other thing is I have Half-Life Alyx as well, but also can't play that. So I was trying to decide whether or not I want to go for something cheap like the Oculus, which I've been hearing more and more positive things about, or go for like a Valve Index or something, which are generally like $1,000. They're pretty darn expensive. Because like I'm like, I really want to play Half-Life Alyx. That's highly regarded as one of the best VR games you can play right now.
Yeah.
Not one of it is the best.
Yeah.
Tell you,
it was voted as VR Game of the Year last year, right?
Yeah.
I believe
Yes. So. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at as far as VR goes. Is like I kind of want to invest the money in an Oculus just so I can play Half-Life Alyx. But there's nothing right now getting me to say yes, let me get a PSVR. But now that they've announced the PSVR 2, the specs on this thing sound really impressive. Like Sony's said, it's going to have full-on 4K HD visual. Was it 2K per eye is how they said it's going to be?
Yep.
So it's going to be like a pixel ratio of 2,000 per eye. Mm-hmm. It's also going to have new fancy eye tracking, headset feedback where the headset's going to rumble and have vibration to it. The new controllers, the new Sense controllers, which will probably have some sort of touch capacitive functions to them as well. And one cable, which I'm a little surprised it's going to have a cable at all. But before we go any further into that, what are your guys' reactions to the PSVR 2? Go ahead, Louis.
I mean, I'm excited. No, fuck
no,
off,
okay.
Louis.
I'm going to go last.
Fight to the dead. Go on.
So I know what we're allowed to say.
Well, because I'm going to be short and sweet and Louis is going to drum on for 4 fucking hours. All right, so... I mean, I am excited about it. I delved into the PlayStation VR because I like to have all the newest gadgets and things, and I actually got it for my birthday. So it's, to me, I'm interested to see, I like to see what the future's going to be. So for me, I'm excited to have a go, even if it does make me a little bit sick. I am excited. I want to feel my head vibrate. I want to know what this is going to be. And I'm super impressed by the haptic controller, even though I wish they use it a little bit more with PlayStation 5, but I'm interested to see where that's going to go with the PSVR. I think it's going to be kind of cool. So yeah, I am interested in it. I hope they do something where because a lot of people have the issue with the motion sickness. So I'm hoping they do somehow try and help with that. Maybe it's a clearer vision might help with it, where it's more grounded where your eyes can focus, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I probably am going to buy it at some point.
Yeah, I think what you said there regarding like the haptic feedback, like the DualSense controller, I have to say is very impressive, especially like when you did the demo Astro.
Astro.
Yeah. When you did the Astro Bot or the Astro World,
pinnacle of DualSense is Astro's Playroom.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
Like
there's no other game that does it like that does.
Which is unfortunate. Like Maria said, like we kind of want them to utilize that more, and maybe they will. Maybe newer games will actually utilize it more. But in a sense, I understand what they're trying to do regarding giving you feedback from the headset. And then Adam and I were discussing this, and he was like, well, it could be something like so subtle that you could like almost feel wind. Like if you were standing something like in a game or whatever, you could almost
That's
feel
how
the
I was
wind.
interpreting it. Because they did say in the press conference that it's going to be very gentle, subtle feedback.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I thought of, is like, what if it's like somebody's blowing on your ear and you feel a little tingle? And like, oh.
Yeah, see, which could be like, I think if it's utilized well, then I'm on board. I have a whole like reaction thing. If anybody does want to see it, it's on YouTube. But I do think that like initially that threw me for the loop, like threw me a little bit, and I was like, do I want my headset to vibrate? Do I need this in my life right now? Probably not, actually, because I feel like it's going to fuck with the audio and visual quality of my game. But if they do utilize it well, which I am sure they do, PlayStations are genius at what they do, so I'm sure it's going to be amazing. But yeah, I had initial reservations, and like you said, Dan, I'm very surprised that there is a cable at all. But I am very thankful,
especially after Oculus 2.
One, yeah. I'm a bit disappointed that there is a cable, but very happy that it's only just one instead of the fucking cables we have now, and then the box, and then the HDMI, and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm intrigued. All right, Louis.
Louis like, can I talk?
Strapped in. Let's go.
Hold on to your butts.
All right.
Well, if you're not going to talk, I'll talk about it.
Anyway, all right. So now
I'm sorry. You had nothing to say? No, moving on.
Moving on. All right. So like, as far as the PlayStation VR, my friend lent it to me so I could do Resident Evil. And in my opinion, I did not like the PlayStation VR. That's the only one that made me feel sick, because of that whole grid thing. And what I love about the Oculus is it because there's so much more that you can do with both controllers, as opposed to like I had to sit down to play Resident Evil 7. Mm-hmm. If I had individual controllers, if I could move my arms around and stuff like that, I would want to stand up. I would want to be able to like move around and everything. But it was so constricted with all that stuff, like you're talking about, with all the wires and everything. So I don't mind, obviously, there being a wire involved at some kind of point. Sometimes it's going to make it a lot stronger. You're probably going to be getting a hell of a lot of better feedback from the VR2. But, it is going to require a lot of people to do like what I did. I had to drill holes in my ceiling just to get this thing up and operating. I'm very much looking forward to that, because Sony is just killing it whenever it comes to technological advances. They have the money, they have the support, they have everything that they can. So if what the Oculus has done, promoting as heavy as VR coming into the zeitgeist, now we're able to really see what we can do with it. I think it was a gimmick. I think you were absolutely right with that, Pagan. But I think that now we're at a point where it's becoming more accepted. And especially having a $300 headset as opposed to having to have $2,000 to play a 5-second video that just kind of has your arms there. Like, now we have something better. Now we have something that what the good thing about Oculus is that it was so easy to come by. It's pushing all these other people to have to match. PlayStation is going to have to match these small little development things that they can do, like Resident Evil 4. And so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with that, especially like the Horizon thing. That's all we really have so far. I'm hoping that there's going to be backwards compatibility so I can go back and play Resident Evil 7 again, but this time not feel car sick. And it was at such a low rendering that it like, I played it on my computer. It was gorgeous. And then I put the headset on, and even though I was in it, it didn't look good. So I want to see if I can play Resident Evil 7 VR PlayStation in a high quality at 2K. That'd be amazing.
The only thing they said that that the PSVR 2 is PlayStation 5 only, so it won't be backwards compatible.
Shit.
Or they didn't announce it won't be backwards compatible with existing VR games. It won't be backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4. Yes. But they didn't say whether or not it would be backwards compatible with the games.
Yeah, but I think like PSVR Resident Evil 7 is a PSVR game, but it's available on PlayStation 4. So essentially I don't think you'll be able to play it on PlayStation 5. Resident Evil
7 is playable on the PS5.
And that's what I'm talking about. Is that if it can
Oh,
I know
I
where you're
suppose.
going with
Yeah.
I see
Sorry.
where you're going with this opinion.
Yeah,
but
I see what you mean. It is available for PS5. Apologies. Yes.
I was going to say this earlier too. One of the big selling points for me, because I don't already have a PSVR, is if the PSVR 2 supports existing PSVR games so that I can still play them with the new headset. I imagine that'll up my chances of wanting to get it like tenfold, because I have PSVR games, like I said, but I can't play them. And I don't want to buy a PSVR now, but I would gladly buy a PSVR 2 if I can.
Yeah, no, sorry. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be backwards compatible in that sense, yeah.
I hope it does.
There was one thing I really wanted to point out, and I want to ask you guys about this. What you think if... I think that everybody's kind of really screwing themselves over by not making everything available for everything. PlayStation is like, you have to have our VR helmet for our VR. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you open that up, if you open that up, such a strong headset that could be used on PC gaming. Oh man. And then you're now, if you allow me to use my Oculus, even though it'll be at a much smaller render on the PlayStation 5, I'm going to buy your games. I'm going to spend money on you.
Yeah, I could have gladly bought an Oculus to play the PSVR games, but I can't. Or vice versa, buy the PSVR headset to play computer games or something. You know, I'd be giving Sony the support to use their headset elsewhere.
Yeah. Like I would buy a VR2 before I buy an Index if it's, 700 instead of 1,000.
Well, that's just it too, is how expensive is this headset going to be? That's
probably a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they might. I'm going to say it might be for $500. I think there's a good chance, because based on the, I'm saying, I believe you. I think it might be more too, but I think in a trying to make things even world, they're going to say, well, the console's $500, the headset's $500. If they're asking for more than that for something that's not the console, because that's the difference, is like the Valve Index is really expensive, but like the PlayStation VR requires the console to play. Like you can't use it without the console.
Yeah,
the console is part of it, essentially.
That's part of the reason why the Oculus is so cheap, because you can only get the Oculus games on the Oculus, and you can also use it on all these other systems. The thing itself is actually worth like $700 to make, but they're not losing any money because you're putting so much money into the system. So what PlayStation is doing, they might be able to keep it at $500, even though it's a $700, $800 product, because you can only get these games if you get this headset. So that might, have crushed what I just said about it. It would be great if they can open it up. But it would be great if they open it up.
That's not how Sony rolls, though. I mean, they only just started porting PlayStation exclusive games to PC, so
true.
That's true. That's
I think Sony are going to have to pull themselves up by the bootstraps pretty fucking soon. Like pretty soon. Like Xbox Game Pass is just something on another level. I never thought I would even say that, but goddamn, have I reached more for the Xbox controller in the last however many months.
I'm actually in agreement with that, and I don't even have an Xbox. I'm just doing it on my PC, but it's that good.
Yeah, no, it's so great. I can pick it up on my PC. We have an Xbox downstairs, and Adam was playing, and then I picked up my PC, and I was playing with our friends, all playing Halo, and I'm like, this is fucking so good. Like, this is so good, and I'm like, oh, PlayStation, please. Like, I love PlayStation. I'm a diehard PlayStation fan till I die, but at the same time, get your shit together. Not really, right? I think they're great, but like PS Now and PlayStation Plus.
I want to reiterate that you're saying this based on your experience and your interpretation on what's happening, and there's so much toxic whatever on the internet where people are like, oh, you're just an Xbox or you've been paid off by Microsoft. Like, no, I'm telling you, this experience is good. And this is like, I've been one to say, like, I like how things are done on the Xbox better over how PlayStation's doing it. And I'm like, I wish PlayStation did it better. I am sad that going from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 was difficult because of the way things communicate. I was doing this the other day. I was playing Halo on my Xbox One because it was convenient. It was right there in front of me in my office.
Yeah.
And I was having the frame rate was not as good. And I'm like, you know what? I'm struggling. Let me hop on the PC. I literally went from my Xbox One to my PC, picked up exactly where I left off, hopped right back in. It took no time at all. And I could jump over to the Series X if I wanted to. It's all seamless. I have to get on the PlayStation and worry, oh, did my save transfer? Is it there? Do I have to go to my PlayStation 4 and upload my save data, then go to the PlayStation 5 and download it?
Yeah.
Make sure I'm playing the right version of the game.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally choose the PS4 version or the PS5 version, and there's a difference. On the Xbox, it's just the same.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
I can actually vouch for that too. Like my for those that don't know, my PlayStation 4 died when I was about to do a stream with a friend, and it was Cass. We've done this before, and I've been waiting all week, and we're excited, and we hyped everybody up, and everyone's waiting in the chat room, and I'm like, my PlayStation isn't turning on, and it died. It died.
Wow.
Like it didn't like, oh, it's not working. It's dead.
Oh,
it's fucking pushing up daisies, whatever you want to call it. So I lost all those games. There's like, I don't know, a couple hundred games that I just lost completely.
See, now what about your save data on that PS4?
Was
it backed up to the cloud?
Well, no, I did back it up. So I mean,
but
if I probably no, I actually, because I have had,
because I found out the hard way that I had not backed up my cloud data recently enough.
No, this was my third.
Were like,
and because of that, I set it to daily cloud boost. So it turned on that first time, but my disk didn't work. And if I push it at a certain angle, it would read the disk. But I did that and something popped and it just died. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, no.
So, and my friends are telling me, my friends who want to play the games that I've been playing with them are like, when are you going to get another PS4? I'm like, I'm not. I'm going to wait for a 5 now.
Okay.
Christmas just happened.
Yeah.
That's not happening anytime soon. I don't have just $500 that I can always just utilize. So whenever there is like, oh, hey, we have one over here. I'm like, that's nice shit. I had to buy food. Yeah. So, I mean, it's
God
not.
Damn it. Sustainability.
Yeah. Like with Xbox, now I'm looking at, okay, if I had an Xbox, if this same situation happened, I could just transfer all the things over to my computer. And now I'm working off of that. The only game that I can still utilize that I was playing on my PlayStation is Call of Duty. And that's because of
cross save.
Yeah. Like you can only get it off of that one studio. You can only get it in that one little store, and all of my data transferred over to it. And since I, had my sign in for that, I forget what it's called. I don't have it on my computer.
Is it like the
BattleNet? BattleNet.
Yeah, it's BattleNet for Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard. There you go. So
that little app that billions of people use.
Yeah.
Yes. All my shit went over, and so now I can use it. But that's the only game. I lost everything else. So yeah.
I will say though, again, I and I'll bring this back to PlayStation VR as well. I mean, I'm just a big fan of I'm a fan of PlayStation in general. I'm sorry, I've said a lot in that sentence. Apologies, listeners. I am a fan of PlayStation in general, and I really like using the PlayStation, and its UI and everything is so attractive to me. I just know it like the back of my hand. I could pick up PlayStation 4, PlayStation 2, PlayStation
folders.
3. Oh no, right. The folders are great. I mean,
but I don't have folders.
I don't use the folders.
The PS5 doesn't have folders, and I don't like it.
I don't use them though. So I didn't mind
my brow as much as possible.
I can see that.
But
your face is getting a workout.
I will say that because I have tried both PlayStation VR and Oculus Quest 2, I much prefer operating the PlayStation VR but that's probably because I'm so used to the PlayStation UI anyway. Like, I just know it. So I'm used to doing that. Whereas the Oculus Quest 2, when I put it on, like, I often find that really finicky, and when I'm searching for stuff, it doesn't search properly, so I have to use my app, which means I have to take the headset off and go through that. And then there's problems associated with the Oculus Quest 2 being in Ireland or outside of the US that doesn't seem to affect anybody in the US. So they're all like, Oculus Quest 2 is great, and I'm like, that is fantastic for you. I cannot make any purchases on my Oculus because the Irish banks have too many authentication fucking requests that I have to do it on my app. I cannot purchase in store. When I'm on Beat Saber, I can't purchase a new song. I have to go to my phone and actually purchase that song. And that is a minor inconvenience for sure. First world problems, I get it. But it is an inconvenience. It's not as smooth as the PlayStation is. And I'm hoping the PlayStation VR 2 has a better use of, I guess, the PlayStation user interface. But at the same time, am I expecting like groundbreaking? No, because it's pretty much the same as PlayStation VR, like PlayStation 5. Like, it's just copy and paste. It's the PlayStation 5 on your VR. You know? And that's cool and all. I just kind of wished that it had its own. I don't know. I kind of wanted to school Oculus a little bit because Oculus is really fucking confusing.
I think the PSVR has potential. Like, I'm excited to see where they go with it. I think it has potential to be one of the best.
This is exciting.
Where they're at and how the technology that they're including in this thing is going to be incredible. Like the eye tracking technology. Like, I didn't understand that at first, but I was going to talk about this. There's a game that came out last year that uses eye tracking. You play it with your eyes. I wrote up a little article about it that's going to be on the Couch Soup website.
Cool.
The whole game is played with your eyes, but the eye tracking they're using in the PSVR, this is coming off of CNET. They explained it in a video how it'll actually track the pupils of your eyes. And that what that'll do is the headset will focus the render on where you're looking and everything else will be blurred, but you won't know the difference. So it'll actually allow the headset to reserve power by not rendering the entire image at all times, but only what your eye is able to perceive right in front of it.
Wow.
That was what I commented.
You commented
on
that on my
Pagan,
video.
But
yeah, I saw that.
That was much more concise. I was just like, it makes it pretty. And but when that was exactly what I was saying. But also,
but that technology is expensive.
Yes, that's the thing, and that's why I'm like having that technology in a headset that is rendering some of the highest quality on purchasable markets. There's headsets out there
in 4K.
There's headsets out there that that you can't purchase as a general consumer. You have to be, multi-million billionaire or whatever, so that you can purchase it for your offices and stuff like that, like a car dealership, for example.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that have this kind of technology, so they know how to use it. We know how to use it. It has been utilized, but this is the first time it's coming to consumers. And so we're kind of like, oh shit, what are we going to do with this? and
kind of like, to make the car analogy, this is like how Mercedes cars always have like technology that's 10 years ahead of every other car in the world.
Because they can afford it. Yeah.
When you get a seat warmer, Mercedes has been doing it for 10 years already. When you get Bluetooth in your car, Mercedes has already been doing it for 10 years. Like,
now it's a standard. Now it's a standard. And that's, again, I'm gonna point it back to I think that's just because of the Oculus, that it was so easy and so cheap that now people are like, we have to do better. If they're gonna, we want people to spend $700 instead of $300. You better bring up your game and make that $700.
I'm for sure. But the PlayStation VR was very much a gimmick when it first came out. People were like, I don't think this is going to take off. There's only a couple of games.
I thought you said PlayStation Move at first.
No.
That was too.
VR.
That was a gimmick. For
but
sure.
It's more that now it's actually it's got an actual place in gaming. They're going to have to step it up and be like, take it seriously, because it's it's something to be taken seriously now with the VR,
which is clearly what they're doing.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
same.
It's definitely very clear that they are trying to up their game a lot, and I think this really will open up a big space. It'll open up a big space in VR, and people will be like, all right, let's compete, let's go, and there'll be a new Oculus, or there'll be another Valve Index Part 2 or something, and I'm excited to see them pave a way a little bit that's not super groundbreaking or anything, but it is the first time they're going to try this. I've never seen a headset with haptic feedback or some sort of feedback. I did want to mention as well that the other thing that I really enjoy about the Oculus Quest 2 that's not available on PlayStation is the audio quality on Oculus Quest 2 without even wearing headphones is so fucking fantastic. I love that I don't have to wear headphones, whereas with the PSVR, you have to have it either coming from your TV or from your headset. Like as in like plugging in headphones into the actual PSVR headset. Yeah. Which just adds more onto my head and makes me more headachy. So that doesn't really work for me. But
that is unfortunate.
I was a bit disappointed to see that the PSVR 2 also does not have that. It's just the headphone jack or the PlayStation or the TV that it's coming from. And I was like, oh, like missed out. Because you could have had the fucking speakers in there like the Oculus Quest 2 do, because it's really, really good.
Here's what's funny about that statement. Like I said, I'm an enthusiast now, and I just watch tons of people always commenting on videos and stuff like that. Like that, all they do is create content that is specifically for VR.
Yeah,
all of them say that the Oculus has the shittiest sound system, built-in sound system. But I agree. I loved it. I now have like a headset built into it basically, so that it can work with me. And it makes it more comfortable, and it balances out the weight and everything. So I'm good. But just on its own, I thought it was fantastic because I love that it's just that little tiny thing. And if I need to, I can hear other people. They just have to speak up a little.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to buy one of the Sony Pulse headsets to go along with this thing now?
Yes, probably.
Man.
Yeah.
More than likely. Yeah.
That's another $100.
I know.
Yes. And that, okay, we were also talking about like index. The index is $1,000. That doesn't include the base stations. And sometimes it does not include the controller
sensors and stuff.
Yeah.
Or does it include the sensors?
It does not include the sensors. That's the base station. And that's another, I think, like $300. So you can get base stations and use them on Oculus. You can get them and use them on PlayStation. It's different kinds of technology, but it's far more expensive. And you have to drill holes in your walls, and like you have to, like it's a weighted item. Jesus. So like there's a lot that comes with it. And when Oculus came out with those little 4 cameras, and they're like, we don't have base stations, take it out of the box and let's go. Now I'm so happy to see the PlayStation is using it, because it's like finally people are taking for granted how easy that technology is. Rather than having having to have the camera, the box, the this, the that, the hand. If you're not in the right distance at all times, it's like, hey, you're out of the game. You're out of the game. Come back. Like it kills the whole thing for you. But I'm
kind of
very
interested
happy
to know what the hand things. If there's going to be anything for those, do you know, like the little the VR has the little hand pads?
Yeah, they said it's going to have like capacitive touch. Built into
yeah,
the
like
controller.
the haptic feedback and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Because I
think they said there's going to be finger tracking too.
Well, the haptic controller just destroyed everything. It is so.
So I'm wondering whether that's going to be in the little handheld.
There's rumors that it is. That's why it looks the way it does. But there's nothing said.
Kind of cool.
Yeah,
I hope so for that price.
Good. I'm so glad they're getting out of like the Move controllers. Love you, Move. You did your job, but you're done.
Yes,
you're done, baby. You're gonna be sitting on the corner for a while because you've been bad. No, it's just the tracking on the PlayStation is just so bad, and you notice it so much when you put on Oculus after playing like Beat Saber on PlayStation VR, and then you put on the Oculus and you play Beat Saber, and you're like, what? Like, what is PlayStation doing? Like, and it depends on everything. Lighting, angle, where you're fucking putting the camera and everything. Thank God for like the tracking on Oculus, honestly.
Yeah. All I need is a well-lit room. That's it for the Oculus.
Yeah.
Turn on the lights. Oh, and also don't have any mirrors. Do not have mirrors.
Don't have mirrors. It'll confuse the fuck out of the machines. The machines will come for you. No,
it's
but
like your arm's over there.
I love the oh fuck, I can't even see what the see-through mode basically, so it'll turn on the camera so that you can actually see your surroundings on Oculus Quest 2. Ooh. Handy feature. Thank you for that. I didn't even know that existed.
You can make the home screen that. instead of being like in the
lobby,
the thing,
virtual lobby.
Yeah, you can
That's
just
nice.
make it to where like you're in your room. It looks black and white. It looks like an old grainy horror movie.
It's terrible quality, but it's just so helpful
But
to
you can
move
still
something
see
out of
it.
the way.
So you're seeing like the IR feed is what you're seeing.
Yeah. Because you can set it to double tap your headset to change it to basically the cameras around you, so that you have awareness of what you're doing. Because I've done that. I was in the I think it was in the bedroom because Adam was in the sitting room, and I was trying to play Beat Saber, and I think I smacked my hand off the bed, and I was like, God damn it! And then I just double tapped the side of my headset to see where the bed was, and I realized I've just moved 2 steps forward. The only thing I will say is with the Oculus, I don't know why I'm like harping on about this, but the Oculus, with the Guardian thing, really annoys me sometimes. So I actually have to set the Guardian much larger than what I actually have in my room, because as soon as I'm playing Beat Saber, I'm always going out of that fucking Guardian thing, and I'm like, but I'm not. I have the space. Stop yourself.
So there's a lot of tricks that you can do with that. First of all, an area rug that really helps out. You can turn off the Guardian and not ever worry about that. If you have a little area that you want, like you're just like, if I step off of this part of the mat, I know I'm in trouble. So then you keep putting yourself back in there, but you never see the grid. And that's something that I do too. That's why this room is empty.
This is like probably going to be extra content now. I'm sorry, but apparently that you I've tried to turn off the Guardian and you cannot unless you download the developer mode or something.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Okay.
If you don't have developer mode on an
like,
Oculus, it's not worth having. I can promise you that. You got to get into
okay, I'm gonna download that.
Yeah, you got to get into side quests. You got to get into virtual desktop. That's the only one that you're gonna have to buy. It's $15. I promise you, it's gonna make the headset so much better. I use it constantly. Like the hand tracking, where now I can set it to where I'm just using my hands and I'm sitting there watching a movie, and you know, like it's. I promise.
Teach me your ways.
The headset is better than
everything you keep talking about. I'm like, man, I remember the old days with the Kinect and being able to like.
Essentially think of it like that, but now you're doing it in a VR headset. And what I was gonna do as a gimmick for this was put on the headset and do like the first part of it with it on, with the pass through, so you can see all of that. But again, I have to have that headset on, and since I kind of built it into the headset, it's too much and it's too clunky. But it's pretty versatile, and that's what I like about it. And that's why I keep telling people it's worth it. I promise you. So again, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. If PlayStation wants to beat Oculus, they have to make it worth it. That has to be worth that price tag, because it's not going to be $300. And even if they go to $300, Oculus or Meta or whoever the hell has the ability to go, oh, okay, we're $250 now.
Yeah.
Oh, well. And it's like, God damn, they're just too powerful.
I will say, though, I think they are going to try and make it worth it. And they're going to try and sell you on the features. But headsets, like VR in general, is just so hard to sell without putting it on. Like, they're really going to have to up the marketing in terms of, like, pop-ups or whatever it is. Now, with COVID, obviously, that's so fucking complicated to do now. But I remember having, like, the VR pop-up in Dublin. And I was like, this is great. You can actually go in and try the VR because you never know. Even when they showcased the Horizon Call of the Mountains demo, which I'm very, very excited about. Sorry, not the demo, but the game. When they actually sort of showed you like a little piece of it, I was like, damn.
5 seconds of footage.
Yeah, I was like, that looks interesting. Because it does look interesting. I'm aware that Horizon is awesome and that the fucking graphics in Horizon are awesome. Did it come off in the trailer? No, of course not, because you're not wearing the headset and you have no idea what it looks like. So
yeah, but that's the same kind of thing as like when, you know, Virtual Boy came out for the Nintendo. What it told you it was going to be like and what it was actually like was a completely different experience.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, look at all the fucking virtual shit you can do, and you put it on, it's like, what the fuck is this? So you do have to try it on. Yeah, it's especially. These days,
I think what you were saying, Louis. Like I agree with you. I think that they're going to have to really push themselves to make it feel worth it, because they can tell you this and there's only so much hype you can get from like being told this, because until you put the headset on, you'll never know.
Yeah,
like people watching this who don't have any version of VR, they're just going to be, you know, kind of canceling it out. But we are saying that try it. Like it was my cousin who got me into it. He just told me I got it. I've had it for a couple months. Every day I'm a couple hours into it. Like, you got to get this, because I was waiting for the PS5, and he's like, dude, just get this thing instead. And I was like, well, I'd heard about it, but I didn't know anything. And the second I put it on, like I said, became a massive enthusiast. So now that's why if I'm not reading up on how to do my job better, if I'm not reading up on how to do editing or writing or anything like that, I am now for fun listening to new features and VRs that are coming up, and these guys are doing this, and I'm like, feed me more information. Like I became such a nerd. Anyway.
All right. I think we're getting close to time to wrap up the show. So before we do that, let's go around and talk about some of the games that we're looking forward to that are on their way, hopefully this year in 2022, if things aren't getting further delayed because of COVID restrictions and who knows what else, all the nonsense that's happening everywhere. But yeah, so let's talk about the upcoming games that we know about in 2022. And we'll go around and like throw out a game you're excited about, why you're looking forward to it. Who wants to go first this time?
I'll go.
I can go first.
No, go ahead, Maria. Fuck off, Pagan. Fight me.
Stalker 2, I know it's been delayed, but that seems a lot of fun. I mean, the Chernobyl thing, it's a bit like Metro. Really was a fan of that. I thought that would be kind of cool. I like shooting things. I'm weird like that. Plague Tale, the next the Requiem range. I did like the thing with the rats. It was very creepy. The last one, Innocence, that came out. I never completed it, but it was a good game. That was one that I was looking forward to. And Stray.
Yeah, Cyberpunk with Kitty.
With Kitty, I really want Cyberpunk with Kitty. I'm looking forward to that one, and it just never seems to be coming out. And I'm like, can I have the cat game? Just give me the fucking cat game. So that's all I want. I just want fucking orange cats to do shit.
Spoken like a true cat lady.
Right, just give me the fucking
true cat lady.
Big cat lady. So that's my little list of things that I'm going for.
Nice.
Go on, Pagan.
God of War Ragnarok. Top of my list. The dibbity top. Cannot wait for that game. I don't know if it's going to come out in 2022 or if it's going to be delayed. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it will stick to a 2022 release, which would be awesome. I am also very, very excited for a lot of things that are coming right around the corner, like Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring are coming out next month, potentially. All fingers crossed. Everything should come out. That should be an interesting launch. I'm very excited for both those games.
Elden Ring's been in development for years.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to come out. Yeah, and they did the beta and everything, so like it looks like it's set to release. So hopefully it'll be good. And Hogwarts Legacy, yes. I fell off the Harry Potter.
Do we know if that
train.
game is multiplayer yet?
We don't. I didn't see if.
I really hope it's multiplayer, because goddamn, would that be fun?
It's got to be somehow. Yeah, it has to be. Very, very excited for that. We've only had very little about that as well. Like, we've only ever heard a little about that. We haven't really had like an extended trailer or anything.
Yeah, there was the announcement trailer last year.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. That's all we have. And I'm like, give me more of this, please. I fell off the Harry Potter hype train for a while, but like there's just something in it. Like, it's so nostalgic. It's how I grew up. It's like what I grew up reading. So I'm very excited for that game. Very much looking forward. 2022.
I have
the 1.5 systems.
Yeah.
I have no opinion. I don't know what's coming out. God of War and
nice.
I made a list,
Elden
Louis.
Ring. I know. List. I think Elden Ring is probably the one that I'm most hyped for personally. But it's between God of War and Elden Ring that are the ones that I've heard about.
Nice.
So I'm done. Anyway, now you can talk.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, this is tough because Elden Ring is definitely up there on my list as of late. I mentioned this on the last episode of the podcast. I have a knack of doing things where once a game piques my interest, I turn away from it. I'm like, no, don't show me anything. I don't want to know anything. It's become more and more difficult because now I actively talk and discuss and write about games on a regular basis. So it's hard to not do it. But with Elden Ring, I'm kind of a little bit in the dark, other than watching a few preview videos and watching like people playing the beta. And then after I watched the beta videos, my interest in that game skyrocketed. And then I went, okay, put the veil back over my eyes. I don't want to know anything more until it comes out. Because I am a big fan of like the Soulsborne games. Even to the point now where I'm revisiting Bloodborne and Neo, and I want to play Neo 2. I played Demon's Souls on the PS5 last year. Super good game. That was a lot of fun. I did finally beat God of War, so now my God of War Ragnarok interest is peaked again.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And it's like, okay, now I'm ready for Ragnarok, now that I've actually played through the whole game. There's just so many games. There's so much on the horizon, including Horizon.
Yeah, I was going to say, pun intended.
Yeah, one I forgot about.
I'm playing Horizon now again, trying to do the same thing as God of War. I'm trying to beat that now because I haven't beaten it. I'm on a PlayStation like binge right now, like playing a bunch of PlayStation games.
Nice.
But also, I know it's probably unlikely, but I'm really hopeful that maybe Fable somehow squeaks into the Xbox lineup for this year.
I think it could, I've heard rumors.
We don't know. We have no idea. Like it's really quiet, but they might say at E3, like, guess what? Fable's coming this year. Like,
people will lose their shit.
And I think the Forza reboot is coming out this year. I believe it's planned to be coming out this year, which I like car games, and I've played most of the Forza games, like there's this mainline series, and I'm just sure that's going to be one of the most breathtaking games ever made. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. I was
actually, Gran Turismo 7 is coming out, so
that's
I'm interested
in March.
to see how it's with Forza, what the comparison is going to happen. It's going to have to bring its game.
Yeah. I will say that there was a time when I bought Gran Turismo 5 on the PS3 back in the day. I got bored of it in an hour, and I brought it back, and I got Forza instead.
Oh, nice. That boded
I'm not a
well.
big racing car guy, but my brother-in-law's, man, he likes the ones that are like very realistic.
Yeah, that's like the Gran Turismo or the Forza mainline series are super realistic.
Like, I can't with that stuff, but watching him play is just like, oh my god! First of all, the graphics are insane.
Yeah,
insane. It's so gorgeous, and just seeing how meticulous he gets with it, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude! Like, what does that button do?
It's interesting to watch people play car games that are very into those games. Totally agree. I couldn't even do fucking Rocket League, man. I'm out. I can't do car games.
I think the last thing I want to say on the Games of 2022 thing is I think this year's E3, if there is an E3, is going to be very interesting.
Yes, I agree.
I expect both Xbox, Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo will probably come out like swinging this year. I think there's going to be a lot of big news. It might not be games coming out this year, but I feel like there's a lot on the horizon. Again, the horizon. Like there's.
I would like some new IPs. I would like some new console IPs.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
that's something that will actually blow us out of the water. I'd be like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Well, I know Microsoft's got studios working on stuff that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, true.
And we still don't know when Hellblade 2 is coming. Oh, it looks good. Okay.
I thought that was 2022.
It doesn't have a date yet. There's no date.
Damn. All right. We'll find out at E3, I'm sure.
Okay. No rush. They can take their time.
Yeah, take your time.
Well, I think with that, it's a good time to wrap up this episode of the swearing and cussing podcast and telling Louis to shut up.
Yeah, you know how it is.
I'm used to it. All right, Mom. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Replayer Podcast. Just so you know, you can write us at the replayerpodcast@gmail.com with your suggestions or anything you'd like us to talk about on the show. And be sure to find us on couchsoup.com, where you can listen to our podcast while you peruse the lovely articles about unfiltered pop culture written by our very own Maria and Louis, who are also contributors, myself included.
And Dan.
Me, I'm the only one that's not writing for this. The person who did a fucking English degree. I don't write for
For fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, my first
if
article
anybody
called For Fuck's
could.
Sake.
That's your first article.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Well,
And
I'll
with
see.
that,
I'll see.
No.
All right, sorry.
With that,
Actually, yeah,
I'm
like
saying
roll that out again. Apologies.
Goodbye, because I am Dan. Thank you, Pagan. Thank you, Louie. Thank you, Maria. This is the Replayer Podcast, and that's game over.
Woohoo!
Bye.
Bye. Yes,
It's
yeah.
unfiltered pop culture, Pagan.
Well, yeah, fuck, sorry. Shit.
Fuck
Fuck
it.
it.
Suck it. That's the wrong one.
How
Was
dare
that-
you, sir?
Just roll credits.
It's game over. Fuck off.
We don't even need that.